So I actually want to make another one tonight, and the reason why I want to do this is so this water that I just put in here that you saw in the previous video of me making, that water is cold, and what I want to show you guys here is whenever you see someone, or perhaps you even, it's good information if you have so you can better understand what was happening. You see people say, oh, well, I must have had the water temperature not be, close enough or something, or any of that, and so my fish just died, or now look at them, oh, it's so bad. But in reality, the water can be, like, this is cold. The water can be a good 15 degrees, 20 degrees difference. No joke. Sometimes even more. Like when I get shipments in and stuff, I'm literally cutting those bags open. Sometimes those babies are ice cold. It's not ideal, but sometimes shipping stuff happens and you can't do anything about it. And I literally just cut the bags open. They're sometimes like 50 degrees or less, and I throw them in 82 degree water. And the reason for that is, for the way that I'm unbagging them is, it's better to get them into an ideal situation than it is to sit there and try and acclimate the bags, have them in there more, and still have them undergo relatively the same process. Like, that bag is heating up in like 15 minutes, but that doesn't really do anything. And to me, a healthy fish should be able to thrive even if exposed to, different temperature water. And it's better to get them out of the ammonia and everything else like that. And obviously ammonia is more toxic when it's hot, so heating them up to that is not too ideal anyways. So for me, I always just cut and throw. The pH difference isn't going to matter. Nothing else is going to matter. Cut and throw. They're going into an ideal situation here, and so that's where they need to be. But you'll see people saying like, oh, like I said, oh, my fish died because I had like, the water was maybe just too much off. And unless if you're throwing them like from 82 and then suddenly into ice cold, if they do have a super bad reaction to that, then it's not because of the water temperature that you did. It's because the fish in general was not healthy. That's pretty much like end of story. I do this, a lot of you guys from Facebook already know, like I've had countless of thousands and thousands and thousands of betas, like a lot. It would make, I don't even know. I couldn't even calculate it if I wanted to. And that is what's happening. So for me, if you're seeing these effects based on your water temperature or something like that, no, the fish just wasn't healthy. So it shouldn't really matter. And then another thing that you will see is people talking about, oh, I changed too much of my water, and once again, now my fish are, oh, look, oh, they're dying, oh, shoot, what's happening? Well, cool. So once again, it's not that you're doing, the water changes, the fish weren't healthy. And then another thing that comes into play there is substrate. So you have really high dissolved organics and gases that are building up down there in your substrate, right? And then you're going to go and do a huge water change, which causes a literal gassing reaction. And that's what you're seeing with them dying. So they're either carrying something that you didn't know, they're not in very ideal condition, like health-wise, or they're getting gassed, or it could even be all of them. But it's not that your water change, oh, it killed them. No, that did not kill them. It's the surrounding factors you did that killed them. And so, like these things just got a 90% water change with colder water. They don't care. And I just really, some of the stuff that you see online, it's just kind of, it's kind of hard to, it's a hard pill to swallow from a professional standpoint. Because there's just, false information runs wild, and it's just like, hold on, you guys, like, come on. That's not what happened, okay? It's just not. But, yeah, so anyways, I don't know. I just kind of wanted to throw that out there, so just kind of overview. temperature differences and water changes. Very, very large water changes, small one, I don't even care. So it's not the water change that killed your fish. It's not the temperature that killed your fish. It's not the temperature that made your fish sick. It's not the, it's nothing else. A healthy fish will not get sick, won't get bad, nothing, no adverse effects at all. And you can do this every 3 to 5 days like me. And obviously these guys are very healthy. And this is how we all do this. And so, like I said, I mean, or even like, let's look over in Thailand. Cool. So, or Indonesia or anywhere. Sometimes the outside temperatures get high enough that they have to do like basically emergency water changes. And the way that they do that is they literally grab a hose from the water source they're using, which is not chlorinated or anything. And that water is like very, very, very cold. And so they will just take the hose and go down the lines, and they will flush the hot boiling water that's like way too hot for the fish. And they'll just slam the cold water in there, and that lowers the temperature, obviously, for a little bit. And then, hopefully their success with that is pretty good. Sometimes there's losses because you just can't keep the water temperature down. Something that I know, I know they utilize a lot is keep them in the shade and keep them, on the ground. So if you have a big rack with them and some of them are elevated up, get them down, because the ground will still keep them cooler. If it's not something, like cement or something, something that's obviously going to be bringing in heat. But that's what we do. That's how, and I just kind of wanted to, like I said, make a video on that because it's something that I feel like is a pretty important piece of information. So, make sure that your fish are very healthy. Do everything you can, have an ideal environment and everything like that, and nothing really matters. And I mean, most of the issues that you see online as a whole, I never deal with, neither do they. Fin rot, any of that stuff, never deal with it. And I mean never. It's not like, well, most of the time, it's literally never. And I also utilize roadie water and such, so I mean, I never, I fully preventatively treat every single fish that comes in here with full spectrum treatments, and I never have a disease outbreak. Doesn't matter what I do, anything like that. And I guess, what I'm trying to ream home here is, proper fish care is very important. And if you follow the right steps, it's the difference between you chasing things you shouldn't be and having risks you shouldn't have and everything like that, or a really smooth journey. And I always shoot for having you guys have a smooth journey. It doesn't do anyone any good if you guys are always chasing your tail and having problems or this or that, or, the fish group told me, well, that's fine, but the fish group is wrong, okay? It's just wrong. I don't care, from a professional standpoint, they are wrong. And so, like I said, I would just kind of like to just show this stuff, bring some things up. I'm going to do my best with this stuff to address everything that I can for you guys. So, if you guys are like, oh, hey, that one nut job that rambles, yeah, that one time I saw that video and he mentioned this and I'm seeing this. So, cool. Now I know what to do, or at least I know what caused it. What would I recommend? Okay, here's one. For a solution to these things, if you do see, my fish are behaving weird and all this stuff, and you're running substrate, blah, 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 and you're like, this water change really messed up my tank, get the fish out of that, put them in another container. If the temperature difference is different, if the temperature is different, who cares? Just get them in there and keep them out of that water. Get the water stable, get it everything else. You cannot test for those gases, so you won't see, but betas are very sensitive to them. And that's pretty much it. And also, if you're seeing that they're kind of, oh wow, they're sick or something like that, then just, do the treatments, get the substrate out, do the treatments, everything else. It's just, I don't know. I'm just trying to give you guys as many tools, and also I'm just trying to, any little thing that pops up that I can think of, I want it on the page, because I want this page to be like a full-blown coverage of basically everything, so that you guys are just like, oh, cool. Anyways, so I hope you guys find this video to be good. I get really tired of seeing people say that water changes or water temperature is killing their fish. because it's not. And if it is, their fish are sick. Period. End of story. Anyways, I hope you guys have a good night. Now, this will be the last one for tonight. I hope you guys like the setting of at least being able to like watch some really beautiful nuggets just swimming around. But I'll try and switch up the settings to a lot, just so it's a little bit more entertaining for you guys. But anyways, all right, you guys have a good night.